Everything is on you today, so.
Oh, God. It's all on you.
No one cares about me. It's okay.
That's a fact. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Weddings Uncensored, where we drink and talk and talk and drink. I am Kyle.
I am Allie, and we are here to break down the good, the bad, and the downright crazy of this whole wedding industry. Cheers.
Woo woo.
Cheers.
There we go.
That might have been our best intro yet. I feel like we always mess up something.
I know. Maybe it's good that we don't have the headphones anymore, so the music isn't distracting us.
The whole thing is distracting. I'm so easily distracted.
Sure. We got POG today.
We do have POG. There's no alcohol.
It's non-alcoholic.
Oh, it's not a POGmosa.
Shout out to DJ Jack Farmer.
Oh, yeah. We're like...
We should have definitely had this for him.
Oh, well, next time.
He killed it with the apple juice.
He really did. Next time we know for our non-drinker friends. There's been a few times because we are always drinking that we've had people that are like, oh, actually, I don't drink. Or, it's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday and I'd prefer not to drink.
Well, that's your own problem.
We're sounds drinking. Like a you problem, not a me problem. Anyways, couple of degenerates over here.
A little bit.
Today we're talking about rehearsals.
Oh, yeah. I never go to rehearsal.
No.
So I get to ask you all the questions.
Yeah.
Can we start out with who's it for? When is it happening? And why is it so important?
And why the heck do we do it anyway?
Yeah. What's the big deal?
I think I tell my clients, because people will ask, like, do we really need to do one? Mm-hmm. Is it necessary? I think the short answer is probably not necessary. Well, in the whole sense of things, like, it's not rocket science, right? Like, we're getting people to walk down a straight line. A lot of people have been in a wedding before. They have a general idea of how kind of the whole thing works. But I do find it's important for other reasons, thank you, than just the physical rehearsing. It's probably the first time we're getting this whole group of VIPs together. So I call them the wedding VIPs, right? So it's maybe family.
I would feel so special if you called me a wedding VIP.
Yeah, because sometimes it's wedding party, but sometimes people don't have bridesmaids and groomsmen or whatever. It's family, maybe it's grandparents, maybe it's aunts and uncles, maybe it's your friend that's officiating. There's a lot of different people involved, but probably they're like the wedding VIPs, and they're probably only getting together at this time. So people are meeting for the first time. They're able to feel more comfortable. Yeah. If you do have a coordinator or a planner, probably they are taking charge of this situation. Probably it's their first time meeting all these VIPs, and it's kind of their opportunity to stake claim of being like, hey, I'm in charge now. This is how things are going to run. Yeah. So there's a lot of like emotional and physical kind of like pass off of responsibility happening, hopefully to your planner at that point. It's making sure that everyone obviously feels comfortable and can rehearse the next day. I think it's especially important if you have a friend or a family member that's officiating.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because they won't know how the hell to talk.
Probably they've never done it before.
Introduce
or even if they've done it once or something, like they probably need a little rehearsal.
Refresher. Yeah.
Refresher. So, I mean, if you're getting married at a church, right? Or if you have a rabbi that has done this 40 million times, like they probably will guide you through pretty clearly during the rehearsal. I mean, or even during the ceremony if you don't have a rehearsal, that it's not like 100% necessary. But I would say if you can, if people are around, if you have the space, if you have the time, do a rehearsal. It will be worth it in the long run.
Okay. So if you're able to have the rehearsal and whoever is a wedding VIP, so that could be a bridesmaid, groomsman, obviously the couple, the officiant. At least at mine, I also had like parents. Yeah. Parents go, even though they weren't standing up there.
Yeah, but they're probably walking down the aisle.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're probably and hopefully paying for the rehearsal dinner.
Anyone who's financially contributing can be invited. Okay, so as far as who goes, I usually tell people anyone who's involved in the ceremony. So if they're walking down the aisle, they're standing, they're giving a reading, they're, standing up and doing the fucking sand shit or lighting a candle, whatever. If they're directly involved in the ceremony, they ideally are there. Maybe it's a cousin who's playing guitar as you walk down the aisle or, whatever. So if they're involved at all, but I will say even more important than who's there, because you could be missing a bridesmaid. It's not that big of a deal. Like, we'll figure it out. But if you can limit the amount of people that are at the actual ceremony rehearsal to not include millions of kids, every groomsman brings their girlfriend, aunts and uncles that came into town and are going to the welcome reception later. If we can not have those people at the rehearsal, that's even better.
Why?
Because too many goddamn people around are just going to distract you. Things are going to take longer. Everyone's got an opinion. Gotcha. There's a nosy aunt who thinks that I'm, telling people to stand on the wrong side.
Groomsmen of like, this is what I did, so we should do this.
Exactly. So usually the ceremony rehearsal, this is not the rehearsal dinner. This is not a welcome reception. This is we're working here.
Yeah.
It should take 30 minutes. We usually allot an hour or so for a rehearsal just because people are late and there's chatting and whatever, but it really should take 30 minutes. If your rehearsal is taking 2 hours, it's because you have 5 million people around that don't really need to be there and they're all kind of getting involved in stuff that they shouldn't be. So obviously it doesn't always work like that. And I'm not saying you should boot people out if you have to, but what I usually tell people is say you're doing a rehearsal dinner and it starts at 7. The rehearsal's at 6 and don't have anybody else there, right? So some people will try to combine it with the rehearsal dinner or something like that. So just try to limit it and keep it as simple as possible.
Gotcha. I was thinking for time purposes and logistics.
My favorite.
Would it be helpful to have the rehearsal, I don't know, let's say it is at 6 o'clock, but just tell people it starts at 5:45 because I'm thinking if this is the first time all these people are gonna get together and meet, there's no way they're just gonna walk in silently and not talk to new people that are part of the wedding.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So maybe just for listeners of just hey, just give them 15 minutes before it officially starts.
Well, that should be a general rule with all wedding padding, right? It's the Uber's coming at 7, but they're coming at 7:30, whatever. Make sure you're padding a little bit of time. But yes, 100%. This is kind of a social moment. Everyone's really excited. Emotions are high. Usually my couples are very stressed at the very beginning of the rehearsal because it's all coming together. Yeah. All the family is in town now. The car is full of boxes of the decor stuff that we've got to do. We've got this dinner tonight. I'm worried about, a new zit that sprung up on my face. There's 5 million things going through your brain. Yeah. And so what I always tell my couples first off, and I'm you will feel so much better in 30 minutes. I promise. When this is over, you'll feel so much better. So it is a high stress moment. There's a lot going on. So definitely that's why I said add a little extra time, count on it taking an hour, even though really the actual rehearsing won't take that long.
Talking about it reminds me of our wedding rehearsal.
Yeah.
Rehearsal.
It's a real hard word.
I don't know why it's so hard today. There's not even alcohol in our drink.
Maybe that's a problem.
Maybe I would be speaking more eloquently.
Oh my God. Give up.
Anyway, I was thinking about our wedding rehearsal and I was thinking it's like herding cats.
Yeah.
But the bride and groom or the couple and the planner are the ones that are hey, we're here to do this. And everyone else is just oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
And walking over here. And, oh, this would be really cute over there. And aren't you so excited? It's just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
So we can get this shit done in 30 minutes and we can go talk, hang out, eat afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
it's a real herding cats moment.
No, yeah,
and
for sure. I'm having the flashbacks right now.
Yeah, and it can be a real herding drunk cats moment too, because I've had so many times where it's and all the groomsmen have been hanging out and golfing all day and they're fucked up, or the girls are running late because they came from some appointment, whatever it is. It is. There's a lot going on. And for that reason, I will say a question of when is a good time to do it. Yeah. I would say 80% of the time people do it the day before the wedding, usually the night before. Mm-hmm. But I will say, hot tip, if you can do it 2 days before or earlier in the week somehow, 100% do that. Usually that doesn't work out because there's travel schedules and we're working with, space and time and all of that stuff. But on occasion, if your whole wedding party is local or you have something small, it's mostly just your family or whatever, definitely get it done a few days beforehand. There's no reason not to. And it's just one less thing to have to worry about on the day of. Like if you can structure your week of timeline where the day before your wedding, you're just chilling.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
Oh my God. So nice. So if you have a Saturday wedding and you can do a Thursday rehearsal and kind of like welcome reception, or maybe just the welcome reception stuff happens on Friday, whatever. Like try to make it as chill as possible for yourself if possible.
No, that sounds good. I was also thinking about like, I've seen some couples have their rehearsal like 45 minutes before the actual ceremony.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on people doing like a quick, hey, this is what we're going to do because all of you were fucked up and you don't remember shit yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is
totally
that something that couples could do? Should they do? Or do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea?
Yeah. Really good question. And actually, we've been doing that more and more. I would say that's not something that we did a lot like years ago, but now for a lot of different reasons, again, logistics, travel, I've had couples like that actually don't even get in town until like the day before. And like it's just too much. And if you have a very simple ceremony or a very small wedding party, or it is a hired officiant that knows what the heck they're doing, there's no reason you can't do like a run through on the day. Maybe it's a destination and we're not able to get to this Malibu mountaintop the day before, whatever it is, we can definitely do it on the day. I will say it's easier if you are doing a first look.
I was about to say, I was thinking about that. I'm like, wait, you're going to have to see each other,
Yeah. I mean, so I will say probably like twice in 10 years I've done it on the day where the bride and groom were not both there. Because really like the bride and groom or brides or grooms will have the kind of the easiest role. Like they're kind of just like standing there. Yeah.
You just show up and you walk down.
It's more about like placement for everyone else and order and things like that. So you could do like a wedding rehearsal and not have the bride really be a part of it or, something like that too. But yeah, the day of run through is totally doable. It's really fine. And especially if you're doing a first look and you're seeing each other before, also with first looks, usually there's a little bit more time padded into your day, right? So we can say, I'm going to take 20 minutes. Tell your photographer, obviously. Tell your planner and your photographer that that's how you want to run it. Yeah. But there's no reason that you can't do it that way for sure.
I have seen also an issue from a photo video side of alignment.
Yeah.
So just be mindful, everyone, when you are having your rehearsal and where bridesmaids, groomsmen, the wedding party, whoever it is up against, like the ceremony is happening. Everyone is up there. If, I don't know, like it's like the angle, I guess, sometimes from photo video, if I'm trying to get like a shot of, say, there's personal vows going on, I'm trying to get the bride and I'm also trying to get the groom or whoever it is.
Yeah.
But I can't see them only from the aisle because everyone's lined
in
at
a
like
weird
a V
angle
formation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's a big piece of why we're doing the rehearsal is for photo purposes, right? I'll even tell people like one of my, planner jokes I tell people in this. I'm like, remember, this is not about love or happiness. This is about good photos. And I need you guys to stand where you need to stand, right? So push everybody back in line. Make sure they're not curving outward. Your instinct is going to be one of like the furthest bridesmaid away is going to want to stand,
they
so that they can see. Yeah. Guess what? This isn't about you, bitch. Back the fuck up. I need you to be behind, So yes, getting everyone in place and stuff is a huge reason. It's not the walking down the aisle part. Like they're fine. Maybe they walk a little fast. They walk a little slow, whatever. They'll figure it out. But the standing and the placement is really important. And there's a lot of like trend now of couples that don't have their wedding party standing up there. I've noticed, which I actually kind of like.
I don't mind.
I know.
I'm like, it's about you, and like, if I have to have some, and if I know it's a longer, or even like if it's 15 minutes or less, everyone can stand up because it's not tiring. But for the weddings where it is longer, I'm like, oh, it would be really nice if the rest of the wedding party can just sit the fuck down.
Yeah, and it's really like a little bit more dramatic to just have the couple up there. Like if you think about it from a photo perspective, and it's kind of
I would love
a little messy and cramped sometimes with like 8 people on each side, and the space really can't accommodate that. I mean, that's really up to you, like aesthetically, but it is something to consider So we're talking about who should be at the rehearsal.
Yeah.
If you are going to have people sit your wedding party, maybe the second row is reserved for them. But it's also a really good time to make sure you clue in your planner or clue in your family on any like drama or any like logistics that need to happen. So it happens almost every rehearsal. I don't know everybody's family situation, right? I don't know that like your dad hates your stepmom and like what, so.
Or dad hates mom.
Or whatever it is. Or grandpa hasn't seen anyone in 5 years. There's so many things. So I might assume parents can sit in the front row together and that might not be the case. So clue in your planner or clue in your family of where they should go. And you might want to consider doing assigned seating for the first or second rows. And if that's the case, making like a little
name
card. I mean, I've even done it with like Post-it notes where it's like sitting on the back of each thing. So at the rehearsal, everyone knows where they're going to land and it's not even a conversation. It's not like, oh, dad thought he was going to get this seat and whatever. So definitely consider making something for family who are seated.
Yeah.
And it just will hopefully make that a little bit less drama and a little more seamless.
Do you think that the flower girls and the ring bearers should attend the wedding rehearsal? Or do you just throw it on them on the wedding day of like, this is your outfit, go drop that shit off to uncle over there?
Yeah, I think, and this is, I don't like kids. So would I prefer them not be there? No, I'm just kidding. I think it depends on how old they are, right? If they can really connect and figure out what the heck is going on and like recognize, okay, this is the coordinator. Allie's going to tell you what to do tomorrow, right? And you're going to stand behind Auntie Jean. And
10 and up?
Well, I don't know fuck about kids. So I mean, when do they start? No, I think like 5, they
My
can kind
son
of.
is 4.
Oh my God. He doesn't know anything about kids either, folks. And he's got 2 of them.
My son is 4. I could not trust him to walk down an aisle right now. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I really couldn't.
Okay, well, so it depends on the kid and it depends on the age. But I think sometimes it can be helpful to have them there before. But in general, I think they have the memory of a goldfish and you're not going to you're going to have to explain the whole thing the next day anyway. So it's like, it just depends on if it's going to be easier or harder just having that kid around. If the rehearsal's in the middle of their nap time and it's going to screw up their whole schedule.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Just have them show up. It'll be fine.
Yep.
And the one thing I tell people, because kids are always a wild card, they're always a loose cannon, is
don't have them?
Well, yes. But if you already fucked up and had a kid or invited them, the more they mess up, the cuter everyone thinks it is.
It's very true.
It's so true. They
Video?
run the opposite way down the aisle.
They freeze in the middle of the aisle.
They do something weird and go off to the side. Even if they scream and just everyone thinks it's fucking hysterical. I find it very annoying. And the amount of times I've had to scoop a kid up and whatever.
Well, I've done it a few times for video of they'll stop and I'm recording, but obviously the moment has happened. So I'll drop the camera for a second and tell the kid,
push him along,
guide him over here. Usually the photographer, I don't know why, but the photographers almost never help guide the kids. Maybe they just want all the photos. You know what I mean? But I'm just I got the moment. Hey, come on, right over here. And sit your ass down right over here.
Yes.
Perfect. Good job. Yes. All right.
Yeah. Well, what I will say about the kid thing is I don't like them to stand. I do think they should sit. Oh, yeah. And I think most of the time people do. Or leave.
No, but seriously,
have grandma ready, to scoop them up and take them out or whatever for sure.
Yeah.
I've had a few where they've tried to have them stand with the wedding party and it's just distracting and sloppy and it just doesn't work. The kid doesn't know what they're doing standing up there for 25 minutes. It's just kind of awkward.
I know this episode was on rehearsals, but I feel like this is also on should you have kids at the wedding or not have kids at the wedding.
We could do a whole episode on that too.
We could.
I have a lot of things to say about it.
You don't like kids, so I could probably sum it up of don't have them, don't bring them.
That's true.
End of episode.
Never mind, you just summed it up. Well, I will say another one of my rules with kids is that they don't actually touch jewelry. Your ring bearer doesn't.
Hold a pillow.
Yes, he does not get the actual ring. Okay, do not entrust a 4-year-old with a $10,000 diamond.
My little brother did that. He just held the pillow and just walked up. That's it.
I had one nightmare experience early in my career before I made this a rule. Now there's Allie's commandments of weddings and don't give children.
That would be a great episode.
Okay, Allie's commandments
top
of weddings.
10 crack wedding commandments. Yes.
Okay, we'll do that one too. One of them is don't give jewelry to children. And this kid just like, it was actually not at the rehearsal. It was at the processional. Right as we're lining him up, that motherfucker just threw this ring off into the ether. We did end up finding it like 5 hours later. No one could fucking find that thing. It just disappeared. Like, it was at like
Please
this big
tell me
building.
there was a videographer.
I don't even remember now. This was so long ago, but
kill to see that video footage of a kid just yeet.
Well, it wasn't even. It was like right as we were lining them all up, so it wasn't even like them walking down.
Oh
so
shoot, it is early then.
Early, right? But it was pre-ceremony, like as we're lining them up to walk down. So then it was like too late to do anything. Too, the ring is gone. We can't like hold off while we're looking for another hour. Everyone's literally like the music
5
is playing.
hours.
We're walking down the aisle, Yeah. So then the couple was so upset, and they were like, they had to like fake the ring part during the trading of rings because they didn't have a ring.
Dang.
Yeah,
I would have just taken somebody else's ring from the audience.
Yeah, or you could use your engagement. Anyway, point being, you're having a wedding ceremony. You probably want your ring during the ring portion, so don't give it to a 4-year-old. Done. Okay.
Good job.
Done and done.
Good job.
So yeah, that's like definitely the why, the what. Oh, where you should do it. So I will say, if you can do your rehearsal at the venue, great. In LA and in Orange County and a lot of the venues that we work at, it's often not available. It's either not included in your rental package or they, your wedding's on a Saturday, they have another wedding booked on Friday and maybe Thursday and whatever, and it's not available to do. Mm-hmm. So keep in mind that that's okay. We probably do 50% of all of our wedding rehearsals off-site. So we have done them at restaurants, like if you're doing a welcome rehearsal dinner. We've done them at the hotels. So if everyone's staying at a certain hotel, we've done them in like the lobby of a hotel, or sometimes the hotel will give you like a conference room to use for 30 minutes. I've done them in public parks. I've done them in parking lots. I've done them in people's backyards.
This is the aisle.
Literally, because again, going back to the beginning is like, it's not so much the semantics of like exactly where we're all standing and whatever, but it's everyone meeting, it's everyone getting together, it's us kind of guiding, giving some general rules. So
I think too, like the muscle memory basically of like, oh yeah, I go after Jeff. All right, Jeff goes this way. This way, so
Jeff. Fucking
Jeff.
Oh, it's always a Jeff. And he's always an asshole. But yeah, exactly. So I would say, sometimes too, like, and speaking to Southern California, if you're trying to get around traffic on a Friday night, like it's such a pain in the ass, or you have a lot of out-of-towners that don't have cars, and like you're going to try to make it more difficult for them to go to this venue and then go to this dinner and blah, blah, blah. Like make it easier on yourself, on your wedding party, on your guests, whatever it is, and just simplify things a little bit. And so if doing your rehearsal off-site means that it makes everyone's life easier, like do it.
Yeah.
And I think, so I kind of wanted to give like a few tips. So if you don't have a coordinator or a planner, and hopefully you do, because we talk a lot about the importance of having a day of coordinator to help guide this.
Have one.
I think, when I was thinking about talking to some of my other coordinators that work on my team about like what's important about this day and rehearsals, and like when I train my coordinators, we're setting the vibe a lot, right? So when I walk into a rehearsal, I want everyone to know that I'm in charge, right? And I want everyone to know that this is a party and that we're going to have a great time. But like, I want to take the heat at that point off of my couple and off of their parents and off of their siblings or whoever else has kind of been taking charge. Like now this is my show. Yeah. Both so they listen to me and also so that they can just relax. Cause like I said, they walk in, they are stressed as fuck. There's 5 million things on their plate. Yeah. So as soon as I introduce myself and I'm like, hey everybody, I'm Allie, I'm the boss. All your questions come to me. I give out my cell phone number to anyone and everyone at the rehearsal. So hopefully they're bugging me and not the couple. And as soon as I even say those words, I can just see my couple's face like, okay, she's the boss. Yeah. She's the boss, So have that person, whether it's your coordinator or your planner, or if you don't have that, like if it's your aunt or somebody that's running this show, like make sure that it's very clear now, like who's in charge and who's, shouldering the responsibility for all of this. Moving forward. One of my coordinators, Danny, shout out. one of our number one podcast fans.
Yes, we love Danny.
She has a line she tells everybody. She goes, the only question I want you asking the couple, from now on is, what can I get you to drink? Or what else can I do for you? Like,
Good
there's
job,
no
Danny.
more, right? There's no more questions. There's no, what time do I need to be here? What color socks should I wear? What about Jeff? Where did he go? Why is he drunk?
Fucking Jeff.
We don't want those questions going to the couple. We want them going to us.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, right?
Yep.
There's the this is now my show. Typically when we run a rehearsal, we do things a little bit backward to what people might think. So we're going to start with everyone standing where they're going to stand or landing where they're going to land. Mm-hmm. So if they're sitting, parents know what seats they're sitting in. Yep. If we're, standing in any order. So we're not walking down the aisle first. We're just starting with at the altar space. This is where you will be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The officiant is there ideally. And then we kind of give a general outline. So I tell the officiant, don't say everything you're going to say. Just give me bullet points first. Yes. They'll give a welcome. Then I'll do this. Then I'll do this. So we're just rehearsing really general choreography is what I say. So I don't need you to say all of the things. We don't want to say your vows. We don't want to ruin the magic of the day. But is there someone coming up to give a reading, or is, there some kind of flower moment? Is there a candle, whatever, anything that there involves choreography is what we're going to physically rehearse. The ring exchange, things like that. So first thing, like you said, we get everyone arranged so that we make sure from a photo, video perspective, everything's really clear.
Love it.
Parents know where they're going to sit, so they're not fighting over whatever. All of that kind of stuff is sort of settled. To officiants, I make sure that they say or have in their script something about cell phones.
Yep.
So maybe that's happening before the processional, whatever. Yep. Maybe it's in the middle of it, but fucking turn off your phones.
Please.
For everyone's sake.
Jesus.
You think that this wouldn't have to be a conversation in 2023?
It's going to be a conversation in 2026, in 2030.
It's going to get worse. It's only going to get worse.
Well, I mean, hopefully people just have glasses and they just hit record on their glasses and that's it, AI just knows. Oh, they're kissing. Take a photo. Yeah, exactly.
Auntie with her iPad will just have it glued to her forehead then now.
Oh, man.
So I would like to make an announcement about that somewhere, somehow. People will ask about unplug ceremonies, having a sign. No, they're not going to pay attention to your sign. It needs to happen practically during the ceremony or just before.
Yeah. I have really liked though when the couple, officiant, whoever it is, allows everyone to they walk in the aisle, they made it to the aisle, they're standing next to each other, and the officiant is just all right, get it over with. Everyone let out.
You have 30 seconds.
You have 30 seconds.
Yep.
Take all the photos.
We did that
come
on
in the
Saturday.
middle of the aisle. Do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, for photo video, I'm yes, just get out of the way. Go. I don't want to see your phone on the side of the aisle when they're getting their first kiss. They don't want to see it.
I agree. I actually think it's really cute. We did that at the wedding I coordinated on Saturday, and it was, the officiant just said,
just have at it.
30 seconds. And then the couple can just be woo, and make it a cute, make it a cute moment.
Don't kiss yet. Just don't kiss.
And
but you can do all sorts of stuff.
And it kind of lightens the mood too, right? There's something that's a little serious about weddings, and right off the bat, then people are okay, this is fun. These are our friends. I agree. I like that too.
Hopefully they've had a champagne or something a little bit before.
They're getting loosey-goosey. Litty titty. They get litty titty after the ceremony.
No, that's after.
Loosey-goosey, not litty titty.
Yes.
So I like a cell phone announcement or moment somehow. And I always also tell the officiant to make sure you ask everyone to be seated. So traditionally, when a bride walks down the aisle, everyone will stand. I have seen weddings where people stand through the entire ceremony because no one asked them to be seated.
Oh, I would be 100% the videographer.
Telling people to sit down.
I'll tell people to sit the fuck down.
Yeah,
I'll walk up in the front and
weird.
I'll look at them and I'm sit down.
Please sit. I know. I've been in the back to the officiant
just sit down.
Tell them to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they do this weird I don't know if I should sit or sit, and everyone's kind of looking around
do we?
I think
up and down.
Yeah, I think people are very polite at a wedding, especially at the early part, and this kind of falls into the rehearsal thing too, where it's they almost get idiotic because they're trying to be so polite or not break a rule or whatever, and you're use your brain, sit down.
Please.
But there's something weird about it. So that's another tip.
Yep.
Another hot tip for the officiant, again, if you have a friend or family doing this, the things to remind them. If there's vows and someone's reading their own vows, or even if they're repeat after me, think about microphones, think about sound. They want to hear the couple talking and saying their vows at that point, not you. So kind of as you're rehearsing, practicing how that is going to work. Am I holding the mic for you? Yeah. Am I just flipping it towards you? Is that enough sound?
You're going to hold it yourself and you're going to hold the book, yes.
Yeah. So thinking about that and just like not just visually, but audio wise, how is that going to work? I'm sure as a videographer, you have a lot to say about that. But.
No, it's super important because there have been some weddings where like I don't get the best audio of the bride. Yeah. Typically if say everyone's doing personal vows, the groom typically has a mic on them, or I'll put a mic on whoever's wearing a jacket. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
I'll put a mic on them and I'll mic up the DJ with the sound system. But sometimes if the officiant is holding the microphone, they may not be holding it close enough to the other person's mouth. So then the audio, like you can kind of hear the speakers. And you can hear their voice. So it's kind of like it's a weird match. And it's not like a crystal clean audio.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Again, it's a live event. Things happen, but if we can avoid that, then yes, please grab the mic and keep it really close, about an inch away from your mouth. Yeah. That will be the best audio for your vows.
Yeah. And on the day of, usually you do like a sound check with your DJ or something too. But yeah, people get nervous. And especially if they're not professionals, they're like, they don't know how to hold a microphone. People don't do that like on their day-to-day life. Only us.
Only us. I mean, even then, we're not even holding it. It's just floating.
No, but we're still like practically eating our mics because you have to like get really close. Or maybe that's just me. Anyway, so yes. So we're also thinking about sound. We're thinking about photo placement. We're thinking about sound.
Yep.
For the end, so the only other part that I have them really like rehearse is the end. It's the kiss, the turn, that moment, because you really want that to be smooth and you want it to be like photographable again, and we want that to be like a really nice moment, right? The crescendo of the whole ceremony. It's the kiss, it's the pronouncement, it's that all of that.
Yeah.
So tip to the officiant, take 2 steps out of the frame so it's not your fate. 3 steps out of the frame.
5, 6.
So it's not your mug right in the middle of this couple kissing for the first time.
Yes.
Sounds simple, but it's easy to forget. Again, if you don't kind of have that practice. Is the kiss the last thing? Is it, I now pronounce you may kiss, and then the music is cued, or is there for the first time, Mr. and Mrs.? So that's another cue that I like to make sure is.
Steph and I, we fucked up at our wedding.
Yeah.
We had the rehearsal. We knew exactly what was going to happen. We were so just like in the moment. We kissed and we started walking.
Yeah.
We were like 6 feet away from the altar. And then the official was like, well, I guess now I have
Mrs. Yeah.
We were just like, oops, our bad,
So how I have it do, like specifically, I'm getting granular here, but I do think can be a good tip. So I have them kiss for 3 Mississippis. Yes. So at the rehearsal, I have everyone count when they're kissing, which is like obnoxious, but you're getting cute, everyone, it's cute and funny. Yeah. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. We're kissing the whole time. And it is a lot longer than you think. Because
you should just make out at that point.
You should make out.
Honestly.
And if your photographer needs 3 Mississippis to get that shot.
Your videographer definitely wants to record slow motion of tongue.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't know why that gave me cringy. Just really slow motion make out. Well, it's going to take a beat for your officiant to get out of frame. It's going to take, right? So kiss for 3 Mississippis, and then it's a turn and a facing all of your adoring fans.
Love it.
Give that a beat,
yes,
for sure. Even if there's not for the first time announcement, still give that a beat. It gives your DJ a chance to start the music. Again, you want this to be the climax of the whole show.
And the music too. Whenever the DJ starts it, it's always soft. To begin with, because they have to increase the volume.
Yeah.
So give it a good
Go
couple
slow.
seconds. Yeah, take your time. You're never doing this again, ideally. So just slowly make your way down that aisle.
I think that's a good rule in general. Is I tell people if you feel a little uncomfortably slow, that's probably a good piece. Because when people get nervous, they tend to do everything faster. They walk faster. They talk faster. That's just going to happen. So when you're walking down the processional aisle, it doesn't have to be a step together,
just
step
take
together.
Take a
Really,
breath.
if you're I feel a little we're walking awkwardly slow. Good. Better than the alternative, than you racing down the aisle,
Yes.
Kiss slow, turn slow, hold your hands up slow, like really milk the whole moment. Plus, this is
what you paid for.
Yes, this is it. Give the people what they paid for. Give you what you paid for. Like, this is it. So really, really milk that. You're gonna walk down the aisle. You're gonna give me one more 3 Mississippi kiss at the end of the aisle. This is key. Everyone loves that shot. The end of the aisle kiss is really, really nice.
Or in the middle too. That way you get
or the middle, or like
of,
like down. So you see the kind of the whole shebang. Yeah. Wedding party waits. Let the couple have their full big grand moments, have their exit, and then we file out recessional. Talk about the recessional also. Like, think about, I usually recommend that the couple leaves and goes and has 5 minutes private somewhere. So if they go into like the private suite, if they're going to go out directly and do photos, whatever it is, but have some direction for the couple and the wedding party and parents and where everyone's going at the end too. Because I'll even like forget sometimes, not forget, but like not put as much emphasis on the end. And you want that to be natural too. Yeah. So how's everyone getting out? And then where's everybody going? Make sure you're efficient.
After?
Yes. Yeah. Make sure your officiant is making an announcement. Cocktail hour starts now. Please head over to the patio, or extended family, please stay here for photos or whatever. Like, again, remember, people are being polite. You think that they're just going to be like, whatever. And they will eventually sniff out the bar.
Yes.
Because they do. But people are looking for some direction, especially during that point. So just be like overly explainy to them.
I think that's it.
Oh, that was kind of a lot.
That was awesome. I didn't think we were going to talk that long about the wedding rehearsal, but we
know me by now to know that I have so much to say about everything.
This is true. This is you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
She can talk about anything.
She absolutely can.
Well, I guess I just think that rehearsals are important. And again, like, you're setting the tone, you're setting the vibe. This is a really cool moment, probably the first time that all of these humans are together in the same space. And we want to make sure we're setting ourselves up for success on the day. So whatever that means, like, let's take the time and the energy, and let's make sure that we do that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Rehearsals check.
Woohoo.
See you next Tuesday.
Peace.